sweetheart fam. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you're living your best life and thriving in the things of Jesus. I know I said that I would not be back on until September with another chat, but I had to hop on today and share this word of inspiration. Last night, it was so hard for me to sleep. I laid down and I just kept tossing and turning and tossing and turning. And it got to the point I'm like, all right, Holy Spirit, what is going on? There's something going on. I couldn't sleep. I was tired, but I couldn't sleep. So I sat up and I started listening. And the Holy Spirit began to just share and talk to me about some things. And one key thing he shared with me, I want to share today as an inspiration to others. Now, this inspiration, it's geared more towards singles. However, there can be a takeaway from anyone, whether you're single or married. So I encourage you, even though this is geared towards singles, I encourage you to still listen through this chat, and hopefully it will be very short. As the Holy Spirit was talking early this morning, I grabbed my phone and just started taking notes on my phone. So I'll be looking down at my phone with the notes that I've taken. And I'm functioning on 2 hours of sleep. So bear with me. So falling in love. Today's word of inspiration. Falling in love. Beauty from ashes. Now, like I said a few minutes ago, this inspiration is geared towards my single ladies and my single fellas. This is for you. This is your chat, your inspiration here. But however, like I said before, there are takeaways whether you're single or married. No, Jesus can take your pile of ashes and turn it into something beautiful. You need to know that. Know that Jesus can take your pile of ashes and turn it into something beautiful. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 11 says, He has made everything beautiful in His time. Not He has made some things beautiful. Not He has made only certain things beautiful in His time. He has made everything beautiful in His time. Singles, we desire to meet that person who we want to spend the rest of our lives with. We desire to live happily ever after, maybe the white picket fence, nice home, kids, dog. You want that happiness. That's what we desire. And we put ourselves out there to meet people in hopes that during that process of dating, we'll connect with that person that we dream of, that person that we desire to spend our happily ever after with. So we start dating, right? Date one. Things go well and you date for a while. Maybe, 6, 7, 8 months, maybe almost a year in. Things are great until something occurs. And you discover that the person you're dating is not who you thought they were. So in your mind, you're like, you know what? This is not the one. Nice person, but this is not the one for me. So from there, the combustion from the fire due to unmet expectations leaves you with a pile of ashes. Ashes from date one. So then what do? Okay, this didn't work. So you know what? Let me move on to someone else. Date two. Date two, you're vibing with the person. Everything's good. And they check off most of your boxes. So it's not everything you dream of, but you know what? They check most of them. So you know what? Maybe there's something to this. Months into the relationship, you discover that those boxes that they did not check are really important to you. Those are critical key factors in what you're looking for your dream person. So, you look at it and you're like, you know what? Even though they check almost all the boxes, they're not able to give me what I need, what I desire. So, date 2. The combustion from this fire due to unmet expectations leaves you with more ashes. So you have ashes from dating person 1. You have ashes from dating person 2. So where do we go from here? Date 3, date 4, date 5. And before you realize it, years have passed. And you still haven't met the person that you want to spend your life with. And the pile of ashes by this point is enormous. You started with a small pile, and the pile is it's enormous. Expectations weren't met with the people that you met. You thought they were one way. You thought, there was potential, or, maybe the person will change, or maybe they'll fit into my plan, and it didn't work. Unmet expectations. So what? You're left with a pile of ashes. You've dated and dated and dated, yet no one seems to measure up. And deep down inside, there is someone out there for me. But so far, I haven't met that person. What if I told you that it is expected that you will be left with an enormous pile of ashes after trying to connect to the person you dream of spending the rest of your life with, if you use your own plans, if you use your own methods, if you go about your way of trying to connect to this person? What if I told you that? You making plans to find the one for you is going to leave you with a pile of ashes. It will. Consider this. The desire you have to meet the one who you will spend your life with is valid. You have that desire. God gave you that desire. In Genesis, God created Eve because what? He thought it was not good for Adam to be alone. He didn't want him to be by himself, so he created Eve. Our desire is not the issue. It's how we go about fulfilling the desire. How do you feel? How do you go about fulfilling that desire to connect to your dream one? Most of us, we just, we meet people, we hook up, we connect, it's like we're out there looking to find that one. It's like kind of trial and error. Well, I go out with this person, see what they're about. If I'm not feeling them, if I'm not vibing with them, I'll go out with somebody else. And you continuously do that over and over and over and over again. And of course, there's a difference between the world's way and God's way. The world's way, and I'm not saying dating is bad, because that's a personal opinion. I'm not saying dating is not bad, but when you date, there's a certain way that you should date. Dating is for collecting data on the individual. It's kind of like you're going into this like an interview process. And let's look at it more as like an interview. You're meeting that person and you're interviewing them to see if, day one, when you all are talking, that's the time you ask those questions, those critical things that are important to you. And date one, if they don't check those boxes off, why are we wasting our time? Why are we wasting our time? So I'm not against dating, but it's how you date. When you date, it's the interview. You're trying to find out more information to see, is this a good fit for me? Date one, you're asking those questions, because by date 2, 3, 4, 5, you don't want to waste your time. You don't. But God's way is different. When you're dating God's way, I have found, and this is from personal experience because I've dated a lot, and I've also been married, and I'm now divorced. So I've done things my way. And from experience, I have found that doing things my way is not the best way. You have to include God in the process. But not just down the road, not once you get to 6 months or a year into it. You include him day one. If you decide you want to go out on a date, you know what? Day one, you taking Jesus with you. Day one, when you sitting there, you connected to Jesus. So it's not just you and that person. That person may not know that, but you know in your mind, all right, Jesus, you're with me on this interview process. You are with me on this date. So you take him with you from the jump. And if you take him with you from the jump, guess what? He is not going to steer you wrong. When you take him with you from the jump, you're not left with that pile of ashes. So, how do we go about fulfilling the desire? Think about it. Let's go back to Ecclesiastes 3:11. He has made everything beautiful in his time. God will take that enormous pile of ashes created from your past and maybe present relationship and turn it into something beautiful. He will turn it into your love story. No matter how big your pile of ashes is, no matter how big your pile of ashes are, he will turn it into something beautiful. Now, part of the beautification process requires you to make adjustments. It requires you to let go of your plan and ideals of connecting to the one. So the way you're going about connecting to the one with the, dating this person, dating that person, hooking up with this person, hooking up with that person, part of that beautification process, you have to let go of your plans and ideals, and you have to sync up with God. What is your idea? How do you want me to approach this? Number 2, you must be vulnerable and open your heart. Part of the beautification process. Number 3, build an intimate relationship. Number 4, listen. You have to open those ears and listen. And most important, it requires you to allow yourself to fall in love. Don't fear, but allow yourself to fall in love. So you're probably like, Monica, how do you know this works? This beautification process, and how do you know it works? Will this work for me? Absolutely. Absolutely, it will work for you. And I'm sharing this with you, not just by some random thought of how things should be, but I'm sharing with you from personal experience. When you go through this beautification process, let go of your plans and ideas. Give it to God. Be vulnerable and open your heart. Build an intimate relationship. Listen. And most importantly, fall in love without fear. And in this beautification process, when you're letting go of your plans, all of this you're doing is all of the things in the beautification process are a part of your connecting to God. So when you let go of your ideals, you're letting go of your ideals and your plans. And you're saying, God, what are your ideas? What are your plans? What should I do? You're being vulnerable and opening your heart to Jesus. Not to a man, not to a woman. Your vulnerability is with Jesus. That intimacy is with Jesus. Not with another man, not with another woman, not while you're in the beautification process. That's a time where it's just you and Jesus. Just like when you're dating someone, you're in a committed relationship, it's just you and that person. This is your committed relationship. You and Jesus. And as you commit, as you spend time, you build an intimate space with him to the point where your heart becomes his heart. Your heart draws closer to him. And as your heart draws closer to him, you begin to know what he wants for you. So all those things you were doing before with dating this person, dating that person, you look back and you say, you know what? That wasn't for me. This is what God has for me. And allow yourself to fall in love. That's the most important. But you're not falling in love with the man. Ladies, you're not falling in love with the man. Fellas, you're not falling in love with the woman. You're falling in love with Jesus. How do I know? I started with a gigantic pile of ashes. From years of dating to, brokenness from divorce and, just pile after pile after pile after pile, and didn't even realize it until I let go of my plans and I aligned my heart with his plans. And since I've gone through that beautification process, he has turned my pile of ashes into the most beautiful experience. Yes, I had to go through that process, and I'm not going to tell you that it's easy. And I'm not going to tell you that you're not going to cry. I'm not going to tell you that you're not going to get to the point where you're just like, you know what? I don't even know about this. This is too much. Yes, that is where I was. But I pushed through because I knew what I was doing. I knew my way. After all these years, did not bring the results that I was looking for. It didn't give me what I was looking for. Yeah, it was a temporary fix. But in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't a permanent thing. It wasn't a happily ever after. And because of that, I have fallen head over heels in love. Head over heels in love. I have met the one who holds my heart with such care. He's always there for me, and there is never a moment that I can't reach him. He makes me priority, and I never have to question how much he loves me. I know. It's never a time of me second guessing because I know how much he loves me. I have met the one I want to spend the rest of my life with. The one that I could not live without. I couldn't live without him. After I met him, it changed my whole world. And it actually brought me to a point of saying, you know what? And I'm not going to say I wasted years, but had I followed God's plan sooner, I probably could have avoided some things that I went through. And we know that's called life. But I'm at the point now, my pile of ashes has been turned to something beautiful. When I say he completes me, whoa. completes me. You know it's what you need when your heart feels whole and there is no concern that he will ever break my heart. Never. No concern at all. He is just that amazing. And the thing is, you can have the same thing. When I fell in love, when I fell in true, genuine, real, unconditional love, I fell in love with Jesus. You all were probably thinking it was a man. I fell in love with Jesus. When I tell you, if you go through this beautification process, you will never be the same. And it's through falling in love with him that your ashes will become a thing of beauty. When you fall in love with him, your heart draws to his heart. And it is through your heart's connection to Jesus that he connects you to the one that you dream of spending the rest of your life with. You're happily ever after. Fall in love with Jesus, Heart Fam. That's number one. When you fall in love with him, he feels things in your heart that no man, no human, no woman, no one could ever feel or reach. There are places in your heart that it's like you expect, and I'm talking from personal experience. I expected certain things, and you may be the same way. It's like you have those expectations and you feel like, you know what? My partner, my kingdom partner should be able to, whoever I'm with, should be able to meet my needs, my expectations. But the thing is, we're all human. So we can't put God expectations on a human. No man, no woman is going to fulfill everything inside of your heart that you desire. Now, yes, there's some things they're going to meet. They're going to meet some expectations. But when it comes to filling every single thing you need, that comes from Jesus. You can't expect God expectations from a man. It's not possible. And that's why you have to fall in love with Jesus, because when man is short, when woman is short of meeting your expectations, you have God. You let God meet your expectations. You draw closer to him. Heart fam, singles, single ladies, single fellas, I challenge you. Go through that beautification process. Draw closer to Jesus. Fall in love with him. Because once you fall in love with him, that even helps you in your relationship to show love from the heart of God. It's not just you receiving from that person, but it's also you giving love to the person as well. And through that's when God connects you to that person. That's when God connects you to that one. And then you end up with beauty from a pile of ashes. I challenge you. Fall in love with Jesus. It's so important. You will not be disappointed. I promise you, you will not. Take it from me. I've experienced it. I have fallen in love with him. And, it gets to the point, it's like, Jesus, I'm okay if it's just me and you. I'm okay. Now, yes, there is the desire to find the one. But if I don't, you know what? I'm good. When you get to that contentment, you know that you have fallen in love with Jesus. Because he fills your heart with so much love. And it's unconditional love. Heart fam, all I can say, fall in love with Jesus. Now, I said no chat until September, so I had to get this out. But I'm praying for you all, and please know that God is there. He's just waiting for you to fall in love. He's waiting for you to take those pile of ashes and give it to him so that he can beautify your experience, so that he can give you your love story. He can give you your happily ever after. I love you all, Heart Fam, and until next time, I pray God's best for you and continue to walk and thrive in his purpose and his plan for your life, and fall in love with Jesus. Love you, Heart Fam. Until next time.